Hi everybody, I see that I'm live. Came on early just to make sure that this was all working. So just join me as you join. Say hi as you come in. We're not going to start for a few minutes, but I just wanted to make sure that I was here and everybody could see me and the whole thing was working. I see some people liking the video, so that means that you must be here. Hi Donna, I see comments. Hi Ellen, Kaz. These comments are going to shoot by really fast and I won't be able to see you all, but I will try. Hi Elaine, Roberta, Terry's here, Michelle, um, Anne Francois, Carol, Paul. My favourite part is seeing where you're all from. So we've got Colorado, Canada, we've had Lancashire, we've got Somers, New York. Anita's under a huge thunderstorm. Oh no. We were supposed to get thunderstorms, but it's just glorious outside. Jade, Beth from Wisconsin. Hi, Anne. Anne is one of my lovely helpers who's been answering everybody's emails. Sandy, Jean, Utah. I hope I said that correctly. Deborah, Suzanne, Joan, Wendy. When people watch this back, it'll be really boring for them to watch me read out all your names. But while we're just waiting, Diane, Helen, Barbara, and as I say, if I miss anyone's comments, I apologize, but the way Facebook is set up, you all whiz by really quickly. Sunny Twickenham. Right, Sarah is from, how am I gonna say that? Oconomowoc in Wisconsin. Wow, I bet I got that wrong. Glasgow, Saskatchewan, Devon, Massachusetts. Jill's driven home in a rainstorm. Texas. Hi, Jenny. South Africa. Sunny Dorset. I like how the English people always start with sunny because we're not used to it being this sunny. It has been sunny all spring, hasn't it? Sunny Westcliff-on-Sea. See, we all say it that it's sunny, whereas in America they just usually assume in summer it'll be sunny, and occasionally they have a bit of rain. Bath, Michigan, Nova Scotia. Kay Louise from Sterling. Hi, Ria. Nice to see you. Wendy, Jenny, Donna, Tammy, Missouri, Staffordshire, and it's sunny there. Woodbridge, Canmore, Alberta. Rainy Newbury. Oh, it's not sunny in Newbury. Oh, poor Newbury. I bet that storm's coming to all of us tonight. Bargersville. Is that? I've not heard of Bargersville. Dallas. I've heard of Dallas. Sunny Surrey. Claire from Wimborne, and she's not sunny. Hi, Shirley. Saratoga Springs, New York. I know that. Murphy, North Carolina. Rainy Netherlands. Torrential rain and thunder in Shropshire. Bonjour, Montreal. From Montreal. Alexandria, Virginia. Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, in New Jersey, it was great all spring. That's unusual, though, isn't it, Jennifer? Darcy from Connecticut. I used to live in Stamford, Connecticut. Happy times. Warm greetings from Edinburgh. Aid is in beautiful North Yorkshire, where I am. Rhode Island, Bristol. We are 1 minute away now from starting, so I'll just give a few more people time to join. We have a lot of people here. East Yorkshire, God's own country. Well, North Yorkshire might have to disagree with you there, or maybe just the whole of Yorkshire gets called God's own country. Anne says it's been wet in Cornwall. The only place I'm jealous of people living is Cornwall. I always think it'd be very nice to live in Cornwall. Well, Scotland, Wales, yeah, there's quite a few places. Ireland, Jane's in sunny Scotland. Athens, Greece, wow. I'm not going to even attempt to say your name. You're going to have to tell me how to say that. That's beyond me, and I'm ashamed to say, but it's lovely to have you with us from Greece. Carol, Victoria, Northampton. Rainy, BBC, Knutsford. Gatley, Cheshire. Rainy, Cheltenham. Glorious weather in Ontario. Barnet was sunny, but Surrey's stolen all your sun. Okay, so lovely to have you all. I see people joining. Very quickly, I just want to say um, I won't be able to keep up with questions in the comments live because I've got lots of questions that were submitted beforehand. But if you have questions, stick them in the comments and start with the word question in capital letters, and that'll help us. It's ringing me up. Somebody I've never heard of. That'll help us to find you, find the question and answer it. So we'll all, my team and I, my lovely team, I call them my team, they're just volunteer helpers. So I'm so fortunate to have them. But at least I will go through and look for all your questions. But I will answer as many as I can of the ones that came in advance. And I also just wanted to quickly say, I apologize to anyone who had issues with the videos yesterday or today. The videos were fine. I set everything up 2 weeks ago. They were working fine on the first couple of days, and then something's gone wrong. I don't know what. And for some people, they weren't able to play the videos. I've now come up with a workaround on the existing pages. So if you go to those pages, you'll be able to find the videos. And on future pages, I'm going to do them in a different way so that they work. But that was fun day to day, trying to work that out. Seeing more people still come in. You know, the thing is, hi Amanda, some people don't like Facebook, and I understand there's all sorts of issues with Facebook, but my goodness, where else could I do this completely free of charge to just have all of you lovely people here? We've got 1,200 people here now coming in. It's amazing to have the ability to do this. It really is. I'm so glad you're all here. So I apologize for the video issue, but I think it is now resolved. The one thing you can count on if you're going to do something as big and ambitious as this is that the technology will not work when you need it to work. It's just the way it goes. I've done it a few times now, and so I know what to expect. So I'm just going to kick in and talk for a while. I'll keep it as brief as I can before I get to the questions. There's been a little bit of confusion, understandably, with so many people on the schedule. When I first set up the schedule for the course, I gave you the first painting exercise, then today was this live presentation, and then tomorrow was going to be a free day because in the past people have been tired and busy and not been able to keep up. But everybody's so eager and wants lots more to do. So tomorrow there is something for you, something really fun and exciting. It's not the official lesson 2 that I had planned for you, but it's something I've made especially for you, and I'm really looking forward to telling you more about it. So, but what I wanted to say is that since the last time I did this course last year, there's been a boom in what are called online challenges, where you get, somebody says 30 days of painting, and then every day you get a different prompt. And so I think some people joined the course, didn't see the schedule, and thought that's what this was going to be. And so today there were lots of emails this morning saying, where's the next lesson? I want to do some more painting. And I wanted to just give you a bit of context as to why this is not one of those online challenges, which are fine. They're all well and good, and they serve a purpose. But what I want to do is something a bit more ambitious than that. I actually want to shift mindsets for those people who are feeling a bit stuck or who want something more out of their art making. And so I've structured a program to do that. And even though we're only together till next Tuesday, that's the end, I'm doing my best in that time to lead you through a process of maybe just thinking about things in a different way. So and some people learn by doing, and some people learn by listening, and some people learn by watching you do. So I want to give you all those different elements in this week. So so that's why it's structured the way it is. It's planned and carefully thought out. And here's the thing. I know that you have it in you to have fun painting and to make art that you truly love. And most of you, not all of you, but most of you are here because you feel you have more inside you than you currently are getting out. You might be a beginner and you feel there's something inside you, but you don't know where to begin. You might be more experienced, but you just feel like the stuff you're making isn't hitting that spot deep inside. And you feel like there's more. You know there's more, but you don't know how to get to it. So if you're feeling like that, trust me a little bit with exercises that might seem a bit mad, because I have thought it through and I have tried these things out on other people. And where one exercise isn't for you, the next one will be. So, but the way to access the stuff you feel is in you and you want to get out is to have fun when you paint. So this is not some, la-di-da, happy, happy, jolly, jolly, clappy, clappy thing that we're going to do for a week for no reason. This is, I believe that having fun when you work or really enjoying your work, you might not be having fun dancing all the time, but really enjoying the process is crucial, because it makes you want to do more, and doing more is the key to be getting better. And B, the stuff that feels good is the stuff that aligns with who we really are. So it's like when you wear your favorite clothes versus when you put on something really uncomfortable and restrictive. It's if you're a guy and you go to the office and you put your tie on and you hate wearing that tie, but you come home, you take it off and you put on something comfortable. Painting should feel like that's something comfortable. It shouldn't feel like that being in that shirt and tie. And but when we start learning something new, it's a bit uncomfortable. If it's a bit uncomfortable, we have a natural tendency, and I do this too in other realms, our brain starts to throw up resistance and we start to go, yeah, but I don't want to do that. I can't do this. And the next thing is we start to think about giving up. We start to say things like, maybe this is just not for me. Maybe I need a different kind of course. It's like someone who keeps trying to lose weight, that'd be me, and going, this diet, this one's not for me. I need a different kind of diet. I need a diet where you just can eat chocolate and drink wine and eat chips and lose weight. That's what I need. No one's come up with that. So if anybody knows about that one, let me know. But this is what it's like. We go, yeah, this is not for me. So if you're having that reaction, just know it's normal when you're feeling a bit out of your comfort zone, and see if you can stick with it a bit. And I love this comment from Linda. She said she was feeling disappointed, thinking, I'm just not going to get it. This is on day 2. My school reports used to comment that I gave up too easily. So at the ripe old age of 61, I will take heed of my teachers. Rome wasn't built in a day, and actually I'm enjoying the experience. So even though Linda's enjoying the experience, she was feeling disappointed. And that's what our brains do to us. But just imagine, let's say I could solve this for you this week. I could take you from where you are now to making the paintings that you absolutely love. And every single time you go into your studio, I could get you to do that. And the paintings that you absolutely love, people come and buy. Now that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? But after a while, what else are you going to do? I'm still trying to make a painting that does everything I want my paintings to do. If I ever made one, I think I'd be like, oh, now what? I'm going to have to find a new hobby. That search for that quest, the constant learning, the constant trying out new things, the constant change, it gives us constant change in our lives, which a lot of people don't have. And a lot of us are not spring chickens anymore. Often when you're getting into middle age or becoming elderly, everyone around you is settled into doing the same things they always do. And artists never have to feel that way. We're always on an exploration. We've always got another question to answer. We're always trying something new. So that's the joy of it. And I cannot have it so you make perfect paintings by the end of this week. What I hope to have is to have you energized and excited and ready to go off and explore new ideas, so that you never have to feel bored or stuck again. So, a couple of other quick points before I get to your questions. So I want to talk to the realist painters for a moment. There's been some discussion in the group from quite a few people, so I'm not singling out any one comment about, yeah, but I don't do this kind of painting, I do realistic, and I don't see the point of throwing paint around. It's not what gives me joy. First of all, well, good. At least you know that for sure now. So that's all this is about identifying what you love and what you don't. However, if you're here because something about the way you're working currently isn't bringing you the satisfaction that either you want or that it used to. And therefore, give these things a shot, because we've had lots of realistic painters going through the program and make big shifts in their work. They still carry on working realistically, but they just do it with more freedom, with more joy, with less stress. They bring more of themselves into the paintings. And most of the exercises that you're going to do, I think all of them from now on, you could either be realistic or abstract. That first one is just a real kind of throw you in for a reason, which I'll explain. But after this, you can choose. What matters, realistic painting is simply the arrangement of shapes on a page, just like abstract painting is. So let's not make a divide between the two, because it's unnecessary. What I want is whatever kind of painting you want to do, I want you to do that. And however you want to do it, I want you to be able to do that. But you cannot put more of yourself into your work if you can't let go and have and feel that sense of being aligned with who you really are, which I call joy. Other people might call something else. You cannot get that exciting realistic work that other people look at and want to be near and want to get close to and feel you in it, without learning how to stop trying to control every little detail. So for Barbara, for example, who mentioned that she loves to paint something physical from an experience that she's had. So that's brilliant. That's what you should do then. This exercise, though, that we did, the squares, I know lots of realistic painters who use an exercise like that, or that particular exercise, as a warm-up when they come in, just to loosen up. So it doesn't have to be to make finished pieces. In fact, for me, it rarely is. It's a warm-up for me too, even though I paint more abstractly. And because I paint more abstractly, it gives me ideas. But I think even for a realistic painter, it can give you ideas. Let's say you use it as a way to just play with colour, and it gives you an idea for a new colour combination. But every exercise might not be for you, and that one just might not be your cup of tea. And know that that's okay. With each of the things I'm going to ask you to do, there'll be at least one you don't like. That's all part of this process of identifying who you are and what you like. And if I could say one thing to everybody, it's this: that the process of becoming your own artist, your own, having your own artist voice, is the process of being more and more who you are, which means choosing more and more what you like and what you don't. It's got nothing to do with how other people do it. It's everything to do with what you like. That's the beauty of it. I don't know if there's anything else in life where you just do more and more of what you prefer and then call it a job, or call it a hobby, or call it something other people might want to buy from you. You just do what you like. It's amazing. So this week is about learning to let go of tight control and put more of yourself into your work, whatever kind of work that ends up being. The first exercise, the squares, that's designed to help you enjoy yourself with paint, but also to help you pinpoint things that might be holding you back. So some people had a blast, and that's great. Then that's what I want. So job done. But if you were one of the people, and I had lots of comments about this, that felt stressed or unhappy while you were doing that exercise, it's really important, if you want to pursue your art and develop it to be more satisfying to you, it's really important to try and pinpoint where that unease is coming from, because it'll be different for all of you. So it might be worrying what someone else will think in your family. someone who puts you down a lot. It might be voices from the past. It might be worrying about wasting paint, and feeling like it's a waste unless you produce something. It might be comparing yourself to other people and imagining what other people in the group are going to say about you. I can't even begin to guess at the many, many reasons you might be feeling stressed or unhappy about doing that exercise, but I bet you can. And what's so important, the more we know ourselves, the more authentic our art becomes. It just happens. So I part of the reason why I start off with that very abstract, very loose exercise is that it challenges some of the things that are holding us back. And I guarantee if they were holding you back on that exercise, they're holding you back in the work you normally do or in life, because that's how art is. It mirrors life. So be gentle with yourself. Don't go, oh, you're not enjoying this, you idiot, you should be enjoying this, everyone else is enjoying this, look at you, you're getting it wrong. That's just totally not helpful. I would approach it more from the perspective of, this is interesting, other people seem to be really enjoying this. Some other people, not everyone, some other people seem to be really enjoying this, I'm not. How curious. I wonder what is going on with me that I'm not enjoying this. No stress, no pressure. This is not your last chance. There's nothing, nobody's going to come knocking on the door and say, did you enjoy your homework? Where is it? So take all the pressure off yourself and then just be more curious about what's happening. One of the things, and this is getting round to the questions now, so I've kind of pooled a lot of questions into this general statement. One of the things that might be holding you back is worrying what other people will think. And this came up in the group already. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm just checking that you are all here. Polly lost me. I don't know why. I think everyone else is still here. I'm just checking that you're all still here. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Let me go back to here. So, worrying about what other people might think. And this came up in the group already, and I thank you so much to the people who were honest enough to admit how it made them feel when they compared their work to others or when they didn't get likes on their post. Because by admitting that or saying that, you're helping everybody else who felt that but didn't say anything. Linda, for example, who said, I realise this is a course to expand, but I'm seeing so many paintings that I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. Maybe there's another course for me for this. So, first of all, Linda, there are other courses that are much more focused on the technical aspects of making art, and I run courses that go into all of this stuff in a lot more depth, and we get into that. So first of all, yes, there are courses for that, but part of what's making people be able to do the paintings that you want to do is simply experience and time and practice and playing. And you can do a lot of that on your own once you loosen up and don't worry about making a mess of things. But to get back to this comparing thing, so what I would love is when you compare yourself to other people in the group, instead of comparing your paintings to theirs, which frankly is daft, because you have no idea what their experience level, education is. So you might be comparing your very beginning stages to someone else's 10 years in. Well, of course they'll be better than you. That's not natural talent. That's 10 years worth of painting experience. In many cases, people who've painted every single day for 10, 20, 30 years and who work professionally or who are in galleries, of course they will be better than you. But they're not better than you in the sense of you all start off in the same place. It's just that they started 30 years ago and you're starting now, if that's the case for you. So you've got to compare like with like. And so the only thing I think you can compare is yourself to yourself. Where are you now than where you were? Like at the end of this week, ask yourself, where am I from where I was a week ago? And then in a month, where am I from where I was last month? And in a year, I don't like paintings that I made 2 years ago. Don't like them anymore. I'm sanding them back and working on them again because I've moved on. And I imagine in another 2 years, I'll feel like that about the things I'm making now. So only compare yourself to yourself. Everything else is, somebody posted the quote in the group, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's so true. But if you want to compare yourself to other people, maybe compare to their approach and their outlook and see whether there's something in the way they're approaching this that could help you, because that is the key. It's their freedom, their lack of worry that's allowed them partly to make the pieces that you're envying. Some of it is technical knowledge, but I've said so often, I really believe technical knowledge has to come after this first bit. You have to connect with what feels good to you and what you like, and freedom to just try things. Otherwise you get tight and tense when you start learning rules about composition and color and all of that. It'll tense you up and spoil it for you. So you've first of all got to get in the right mindset, which is my job, and then I can recommend things you can do that can help you with the other stuff. And likes and compliments. I really want you to try not to care, and this is so hard. When we've got a big group here, so when you post something and it doesn't get many comments or likes, it's often just because it whizzed by with a bunch of other things. I try really hard to keep coming into the group, going through and seeing as many things as possible, but it's impossible to see everything. And if I've left people out, that makes me feel really bad, but I know it's just not possible to get to everybody. It's not a reflection on you. If I was able to see everything, I would hit like on everything, because I like the fact that you're here doing the work. I don't care what it looks like. I like the fact that you're here and that you're brave enough to post it. That's all I care about. Often people give comments if they feel they've got something helpful to say. Often you'll notice that the posts that get the most likes and comments are the ones where someone shared something verbally. They didn't just post, here's what I did today. They said something about it. Often it's people who said, here's what I did today, it's rubbish. Then everybody feels they must jump in and say, no, it's not rubbish, and be supportive. So the number of comments and likes really have not much to do with the work. Sometimes they do, but often it's to do with what the person said or how many people were online at the time. And when you think you really want lots of likes, I'm not sure you do, because what happens to me often, if I get nice compliments about something, it can really throw me off, like for months. So if I get loads of people love a couple of pieces I'm currently working on, I'll go into this groove of like, well, everybody liked those red ones, I should do more red ones because people like the red ones. The minute that I try to make red ones that people like is the minute they'll start going wrong. And I've got off on that track so many times in my career where nice comments or success, like maybe getting into a show or something, has thrown me off. And I know there's lots of people listening who are experienced painters who will know exactly what I mean. So you can get thrown off by negatives, but you can just as much get thrown off by positives. If everyone likes your squares, you're going to feel like, oh, I want to do something as good as that again next time, so everyone will like those. So try to just let the good and the bad roll off. Again, it's like comparing to other people. It's irrelevant. It's truly irrelevant. All that matters is how you feel and how much work you're willing to do. Last thing before I look at the questions and just pop in to see a few live comments is self-sabotage. And I kind of touched on this at the beginning. But when that resistance starts to come up, or we start to get frightened, we start to think, oh, I can't do this course. And I've had emails and comments from people, a lot of emails from people saying, I'm so sorry, I thought I could do this course, but I just can't because I'm working now and I'll be tired when I get home, or my husband doesn't like me spending time doing things in the evening, or something's happened at home and I really need to focus on that. And obviously some things come up There's a lady just emailed me, and there's been an illness in the family. Of course, that's going to take precedence, and you're not going to want to be doing a painting course. But if it's just as simple as, I can't come and attend the live chats because that's our dinner time. Okay, but it's 1 week. Could you put yourself first enough to tell everyone that they're having dinner a bit later, or that they can make their own dinner just for a week? And the reason I say this is it's a lot to do with not putting ourselves first, not doing what we need, putting everyone else and everything else ahead of ourselves. Or before I can do the exercise, I've got to wash the floor and do the pots, and the curtains need to go in the washing machine, and the dog needs walking, and my husband likes to have a chat over coffee. And before I know it, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I don't feel like it. Try just for this week to put yourself first and to ask the people around you if they will indulge you for 1 week. I'm sure they can manage a little bit of time without you. And that is not to put down anybody who truly has things that are dragging them away. I totally understand busy life. And at times like this, when I'm so busy, my painting is half an hour, 10 o'clock at night, or half an hour getting up early in the morning. Because it's important to me, I squeeze it in. So if it's possible, squeeze this in. Give yourself this gift for this week. Just making sure I'm still here and everybody's not lost me. Nectaria says they have to get rid of their husbands, the people who have got a problem. Claire's not sure what my authentic is. Exactly. You're not. That's why you're here. You don't know that until you free up, start to experience what it feels like when you do something that you really like. If you keep painting and you keep doing these kind of exercises, you will see, you'll get a little buzz of recognition when you do something. You go, oh, I like that. That's me. And you follow those. It's like clues. It's like a trail. Bernadette thinks I'm a therapist in disguise. I've got absolutely no training, so don't listen to me about anything. This is just me talking. Yes, Sarah Louise has got this brilliant Andy Warhol quote: just keep making art. And it's something like, keep making your art, let everybody else decide if it's any good. While they're deciding, make more art. And half the time, it's actually true that we don't know what's good of our own work, or we don't know what's going to resonate with other people. I would say I made a series of small paintings to sell online last month, and my very favorite was the last one to sell. It always is that way. The ones I wasn't sure about sold first. So what do we know? We're just painting. Lorna says, yesterday was the longest time I've spent painting for years. I want to do it, but get up and run away and clean windows. I wish I knew how to break that. You do now, or you will by the end of this week. It's by making painting fun and exciting so that you want to do it. At the moment, you are finding other things to do because it's not that much fun for some reason. We put off what we don't like or what we don't know how to do. I put off doing my accounts for week after week after week because I don't like it and I don't really know how to do it. But when you make it fun for yourself, you will want to do it. You won't be able to wait to get back in to explore that idea that you came up with or ask that question that you came up with. Naomi says, how long do I paint? How much time? Really depends. So at the moment, half an hour a day because I'm doing this, and this takes up everything. On good weeks, I would say it's about 15 to 20 hours, and the rest of the time is marketing and admin work. So it's never like 40, 60 hours a week. I wish, but right, I'm going to go to the questions that people asked. But I do want to say, because some people will have to go and this will drag on, so I want to give you a little exercise to do to learn to be inspired rather than demoralized by other people's work. So just for this evening, because you'll get some painting work to do tomorrow, but I would like you to go into photos in the Facebook group after this call and just flick through. You can go to photos along the top or down the side, depending which way you're looking at Facebook, and just scroll through quickly. There's hundreds, thousands probably of photographs in there. Pick out a few that you like, pull them up on the screen, just instant, don't think about it, just, oh, I like that, pull it up and jot down a few words on a scrap of paper or in a sketchbook. How would you describe what it is that you like? So you might say bright colors, bold shapes, lots of energy, calm and quiet, beautiful soft colors. Just write down the things that you're admiring. And if you want to, if you don't like your own, you can take your own and say, what don't I like about mine? It's too, start the sentence, my painting is too dark, busy, messy, muddy, whatever it is. Write those words down. And then if you look at the two lists, you'll probably find that you've got opposites. So the things you like are opposite to the things you don't like about your own. If you like your own, another thing you can do is go through and, again, go in photos and just pick a few you don't like. It's not mean to do this because we've all got our own personal tastes. Pick a few you don't like, write down, I don't like this because it's bold, colourful, bitty, whatever. You're not passing judgment on someone else's work. What you're doing is pinpointing what you're drawn to, because the clues to what we want in our own paintings are always in the work of other people's. I don't mean that you're going to go copy that person, but just noticing what you're drawn to. That is what's deep inside you. That's what you really want. That means that in some way or another is going to be in your work, but come out in a different way. So if I look at artists I like, always they're very emotional, the paintings. They might be realistic or abstract, but they always have an emotional impact, a real visceral emotional impact. I know I want that in my work. That doesn't mean, so if I think about Picasso's Woman Ironing, there's this all in blue, shades of blue, and there's this woman hunched over an ironing board and she looks so beaten down and exhausted. I don't want to paint like that. I mean, not that I could paint like Picasso, but you know what I mean. I'm not interested in painting people even, but I know I want emotion in my work, so I'm going to find my own ways to bring that in. So this is a way to think about other people's work in a way that instead of beating you down with despair, it actually gives you some inspiration and some ideas. And from now on, you can look at Instagram and Pinterest that way too, because there's something that my dad used to say. He was really handy. He was no good at art, but he was really handy with tools and things. And he'd take anything apart to fix it, and somehow he'd figure it out. And I say, how do you know how to fix a lawnmower when you've never fixed a lawnmower before? And he'd say, if a human being made it, a human being can fix it. And it's the same with paintings. If one human being can make a painting that makes you feel whatever it is that it makes you feel, you can do it too. Just that you don't yet have the training and the experience and the knowledge to do it, but you can do it. It's possible. So always see amazing work as inspirational in the sense that's possible for me. That's why I showed you my black and white, the video of me making the black and white painting that got in the exhibition. I didn't show you so I could go, look at me, I got painted in an exhibition. I could tell you all sorts of rejections I've had. I did it because I wanted to show you. It just happened to be that I had filmed myself making that, and I had said at the beginning, I'm not bothered what this turns out to be. So I wanted you to see that process and how that comes about. Because I wanted it to inspire you, not because I wanted it to make you think, oh, but hers is so good and I'll never be able to do that. You will. If I can, you can. So I'm going to very quickly look at some questions. If you need to go, please don't feel like you have to stick around. I'm just getting warm in here, so I'm just going to strip off, don't mind me. Please don't feel like you have to stick around. this will be recorded and it'll be in the group for you, so you can go eat dinner or go for a walk or do whatever you have to do and come back. That question, Monica's asking what's the best way to market your art. I'm afraid that's way out of the scope of this course, Monica. At the moment, we're working on making our art better and making it something we enjoy. So that would be a question for somewhere else. Okay, let me get to the questions that were submitted before, and I'll just rattle through these as quickly as I can. I pulled out ones as well that I thought would be useful to other people. Joanna asked a question that lots of people asked in different ways, which is, do abstract artists have a plan when they start? And I love that question because some do and some don't. That, you know, there's as many different answers to that question as there are painters. So for me, I have a general intention of abstracting the landscape and I have a general atmosphere I want to get. But I have no idea when I start what the eventual painting is going to look like. I know other people who do more kind of conceptual or structured abstract art who sketch it all out before they even start painting and know exactly what it's going to look like at the end. I know some people who begin with absolutely no intention and then turn that into something. So there's as many different answers to that question as there are painters. And, you know, so it's something that you discover. If you're interested in abstract, you discover it as you go. You start to think, you know, it's not satisfying to me to just paint intuitively, or I don't like it when I have an intention. You learn that as you go, but it's really different for everyone. I'm so sorry I didn't copy your name down for this question, but someone asked about brushes. Hers seemed too small, and she asked if I recommend any particular types and sizes. I just use brushes from the hardware store, decorators brushes. I have 1 inch, 2 inch, and then I even buy really big ones. I use scrapers. I use all sorts. So I actually have coming out for you later in the week, probably on Thursday morning, along with the lesson and the assignment. I have a video I'm going to share with beginners, so it won't be useful to anyone with experience, but for beginners it's kind of beginner's guide to acrylics, so I will send you that out. Laura asked about studio setup, and you got great answers about that, Laura, from everybody saying it really is personal. So I think what makes an ideal studio is a place that matches how you work. If I'd have designed the studio that I've just got now 2 years ago, it wouldn't suit me now. I've waited quite a long time, not even by choice, I couldn't afford to do it, but I had to save up for it. But I'm glad I did, because now I know what suits me, and so that's the answer to that. Antonio has a great question: how to stop the paint going muddy? Probably the main reason that the paint went muddy was to do with it being wet and painting over it. So with watercolors, you can work wet into wet, and you can with acrylics too, once you're a bit more experienced with them. I do that all the time. But initially, if you go over a layer of acrylics with some more acrylics, you'll mix colours together and make mud. So that's probably the primary reason that's happening. The secondary reason will be to do with colour. And so tomorrow, I have for you a video which I'm really excited to share with you, actually, because I love colour, but I don't work with it. I don't use a colour wheel. I've never read a book on colour theory. I just can't do that. I know some people love it, but it's just not for me. So I found my own way of exploring colour and making it work for me. And I'm going to share that with you tomorrow and do some demo and give you some assignments to do that will help you work with creating colour, and that will really help with the muddy aspect, as will the beginners acrylics video the day after. Rowena wants to know, is it a good idea to do more exercises on days when there's no assignment, or just let it rest and let things settle? Totally whatever you feel like, Rowena. If you feel inspired to go do more, do more. I always think it's better to work. I always think it's better to make more because you learn every time you work. But if you feel like you need a rest, that's what the days with no assignments are for. Arlene, seen one artist on YouTube put a base colour coat on the paintings first. Yes, lots of people do this. So often they might put a warm colour on first, like an orange or a burnt sienna or something, to just create, and that creates warmth. The thing with acrylic paint, I know nothing about oil paint, so I can't answer for that, but I believe it's true also. The thing with acrylic paint is it's always going to come through a little bit. So if you've got a warm background, that's going to come through and create warmth in the painting. If you want your painting to be very cool, obviously do a cool background. I personally don't do it. I start with a layer of absolute crazy mess. I just go mad. So with all sorts of colours, but some people prefer to just do one, and some people don't do any. Again, you'll find out if you like it or not if you try it. Maureen had a problem getting the right thickness. She said she doesn't add lots of water. I think it's paint, Maureen. Yes, I don't think you're using enough paint. People can be really stingy with the amount of paint that they use. Use more paint. It's okay to mix it with quite a lot of water. That still won't make it too thin if you've got a good solid paint, but just practice by taking more paint, using that, putting more water in. Just experiment, get some scrap pieces of paper and just play with it to see. And everybody likes different things. So some people are like very thin layers. I like really watery. I like working with really watery acrylic paint, but lots of people like it really thick and textured, and you have to find out what yours is. Ming's having the same problem with paint colours, so you got to have enough on your palette, and the use of different brushes for each colour. Oh, I don't do that. You'll see in the colour video I show you tomorrow. I just rub my brush on a towel and keep using it. I'm terrible. I'm just really messy painter. I couldn't be bothered with a different brush for each colour because I get so into it. Like I just want to grab a brush and I often do get something dirty and put it onto the paint and ruin the paint colour. So I'm no one to follow, but you don't need to have a different brush for every colour unless you like doing that. Minda said, do you throw away what you don't like or work on it more? And if I work on it more, how do I get it to blend in without looking added on to cover up and more like it belongs? Trial and error. So I would never throw anything away. I would either keep it and look at it again in a week or two and see what you think of it, or I would work on it some more. But you just have to layer over top and see what happens. That's really practice and learning what you like and what you don't. Arlene said, when choosing colours, how do we go about it? I really want to say, hold off on that question till tomorrow morning. It will all become clear. Anna says, what's the most effective order of putting in marks or impressions? Gesso, paint, marks, paints. See, again, such a personal question. So what's your best way won't be what's my best way. You said you make some marks and then they get covered with paint. Well, I do that as part of my process. So I make marks, I cover it with paint, I make more marks, I put more layers on, I sand back, I scratch through. So it's all part of it. If you've got a specific mark that you know you want to make and you want that to be on top, don't make it until later in the painting or remake it after it's covered up. But that's part of layering, and there is no right way. There's the way that suits for you. Can you mix soft chalk pastels with acrylics? You can, but they get a bit messy because of the powdery nature. Now, soft chalk pastels are water soluble, so you can put water on and then they'll mingle in with the paint. But I find them a bit messy to use with acrylic paints. Doesn't mean that you will though. Try it. I like oil pastels because they don't crumble in the same way. Lulu had a problem with masking tape. Yeah, basic ordinary masking tape is a problem. So you need low tack artist tape, TACK. That doesn't stick to the paper as much. You can get that at any art suppliers. I know that's a bit difficult at the moment. If you're using proper masking tape, the only other thing is to take as much of the stickiness out of it as you can by rubbing it on clothing or on your skin. It still might peel off the paper. And Catherine said her paint seeped under the tape. So the way I stop that, and it doesn't work 100%, but I put the tape down, then I put a very thin layer of acrylic medium, which is just clear acrylic without any colour in it. And I put a thin layer of that around the edges of the tape. It doesn't stop you peeling the tape off, but it helps to protect it if that bothers you, it seeping underneath. A few people asked about achieving drips. So get something standing up or hanging on a wall, so a board or canvas or piece of paper that's upright. Loaded quite a lot of paint onto the board or canvas. So a good quantity of thick paint. Then either spray with a water spray bottle or hold a loaded brush with lots and lots of water. So get a clean brush with lots of water and press it against the top area of that paint, and the water will run through the paint and it will start making the drips. But again, practice. Try different ways of doing it. I also make really watery ones sometimes because that's what I want. Alison wants a more matte finish when using acrylic. So there is matte medium, which is a clear, see-through, completely transparent medium that goes, you can paint over the top of your paints. It will dull down the colours. You could also very lightly sand if you're getting a bit too much of a glossy feeling. Very lightly sanding with very fine sandpaper would take that off. Not quite sure what effect you're looking for, but try, again, scrap pieces of paper and trying things is the best way to find that out. Catherine's got a good question. So when she's looking on Instagram and Pinterest and she sees techniques and she gets great ideas, and then she paints as herself, what if it has similarities to what she saw? And I think that is acceptable initially. So it's acceptable if you're just learning and trying, because your own style will come out. I interviewed a painter on our podcast the other week, and he said, copy other people, and whatever you get wrong is your style. So a lot of times you copy to learn, and you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to make it look like the other person's exactly. But I think it's fine to your own work will emerge. You can't help it. So I think that's totally fine. Emma wants to know about taking these ideas into larger pieces of work. When she uses canvas and she uses paper for small, canvas for large things. That is a question to explore for quite a long time, Emma. That's what I'm working on now. So I did some small ink pieces on paper that I love, and I can't get that same effect on canvas, because part of what I love about the small pieces is the areas of exposed paper. And if I have that much exposed canvas on a giant, 5 feet by 4 feet painting, then it's almost not a painting. So, and that might work for other artists, but it doesn't work for me. So I have to come up with another way of creating what it is I loved on canvas. That is purely trial and error. That question, how do I take this idea forward onto a larger substrate, I think is like your job for the next few months, is to explore that and play with it. And a lot of what you do won't work, but every time you make a step in the right direction, you go, ooh. Like, I know an artist who did these lovely abstract paintings. I bought a couple from her. They were like circles, all different. It doesn't sound great, but they were lovely. All different types of circles. But a lot of them were made with thin pencil, and the pieces I bought were 7 inches by 7 inch squares. And she was grappling with, if I go up to a meter by a meter, a pencil's just going to disappear. So how do I make that same quality of mark on a larger scale? And so she was experimenting and trying. And the beauty of acrylics is when you fail on canvas, you just put another layer on top. Kirsten wants to know about the delicious dark plum acrylic I am using in some paintings that she must have seen on Instagram or Facebook. So Kirsten, that is a mixture. It is alizarin crimson with black. That's it. 2 different brands of alizarin crimson. I like Jackson's, which is a UK brand. That's my favourite, but I've run out of that and I've got golden, and that's okay. It's just a slightly duller version of alizarin crimson. Christine, how to start on a blank canvas. So again, so different. So you said the good artists I've seen often just use a paintbrush to map out a sketch or outline. So that's the exact opposite of what I would do, but it works for a lot of people. What works for you is what works for you. For me, doing that, then I just feel like I'm colouring in. And because I don't really paint realistically, that doesn't really appeal to me. But it really works if you're a portrait painter and you don't want to mess around trying to find the likeness. I guess you do that. I know all sorts of artists, so there is no right way. This is what I dislike about so much art teaching. You go on a workshop and the teacher will tell you to do it their way as if that's the only way. It's not. It's one way, and you should try the ways and see which you like. So try mapping out a detail sketch. Did you enjoy it, or did it feel boring, or did you find it, what did you think? And try without that. Did you enjoy that more? And follow what feels good. There is no right answer to any of these questions. There is only what you want to say with your work, what you want it to feel like, and how you want to feel when you make it. That's the big leap that we need to make from lots of other things in life where there's a right way. Like if I was going to repair a hole in my roof, there'd be a way to do that so that the water wouldn't come in again. And there'd be a wrong way to do it. Like if I used sellotape on it, sticky tape for anyone in another country. If I used sticky tape on it, that wouldn't be the right way to fix a hole in the roof. That's black and white concrete. There's a right way to do it and a wrong way. Art's the exact opposite. So there is no right way. There's only what you enjoy. Let's say I said to you, yeah, you have to map out the painting with very detailed sketch in a thin brush with burnt sienna. And then you start doing it and you go, oh God, I hate doing this. I absolutely hate this part. I like it when I get to painting the still life, but I hate it when I'm doing the outline. Then you're going to stop going into your workspace because you're dreading that initial, I've got to do that outline, which I really don't like, and I get it wrong, and then so it stops you painting. If you do it the way you enjoy, you'll do it more and more and more. You'll get better and better and better. Your work will get more satisfying to you, and you'll have fun every time you paint. So don't ever do what someone else says is the right way if it doesn't feel good. Dee had a problem. She loves the immediacy of making marks and then tweaking them to finish them. It stops looking as good. And what I find with this is, so this happens to me on my paintings all the time. The initial layer is exciting. It's really bold, but it's not a proper painting. So I have to come in and I have to, try and make it have a good composition and the right colours and be appealing in all sorts of different ways, but then it loses its life. So what I have to do at the end is go back in and take risks again and put that energy back in. And sometimes then that means I ruin it again. I have to put another layer on. So it's a dance constantly between those two things, and you will develop that as you go. Karina wants to know about the layering of paint, acrylic paint. So very important to let it dry in between, but it's as simple as trying it. I layer after layer after layer. I've got a big canvas on the go at the moment that has 5 or 6 layers at least, and lots of mini layers in between that where just a part got covered up. And what I love about that is then I take sandpaper to parts of it, I sand back, I get colours and effects coming through. I use rubbing alcohol sometimes to take the paint off. For anybody who's interested in all these kind of how do you how do you make paintings like you do or like someone else does. When this free course is over, and I then teach a full 10-week course, and if for people who are interested in that, I'm going to do 10 weeks of basically showing you how I paint, all the layers, all the techniques, everything I do. You're going to see me working. You're going to see failures. You're going to see successes. I can't fit that in here. I did give you the one demo, which I think gave some clue, some ideas, but I haven't even made the paintings I'm going to show you me making yet. But it really is a case of just building up layers and seeing what you like and what you don't. Janie, on the squares, if you want to use collage, do you apply it before you tape off the sections? Up to you. If you apply it and cover up the tape, obviously when you rip the tape off, it's going to rip part of your collage off, but that might create a nice effect. So totally up to you. You could always add the collage later if you don't want that to happen. Ellie asked about scaling up work and not hurting yourself, and this is a really good question. Because I have this problem, Ellie. I'm working big now and I have shoulder pain and back pain. When you work larger, it is difficult. And so I would say if anybody has any suggestions about that, how to stay in shape and make ourselves strong enough to be able to do good work, I'm imagining it involves the gym and weights and things. But do let us know, because I really don't know. Nancy had a great question. She has difficulty after working on plein air to translate what I have achieved with joy into a painting in the studio. Maybe, Nancy, you're not meant to paint in the studio. If you're having joy when you're outside and then you go inside and you don't translate it and you don't enjoy it, maybe you're not meant to paint in the studio. However, it might be that the problem is you're trying to translate a specific thing. So I go out and sketch and paint outside sometimes, and I keep those things in a sketchbook. I stick them into sketchbooks or whatever. But I never try and mimic what I've done, because I can't. I'll never capture that again. What those serve as is they're like memories. They're in there. They'll come out in some way or another in my paintings. But I can't copy that on a different scale, or it will become contrived. And I know exactly what you mean. You've got this lovely fresh thing, you come back and what you do is not fresh. That's because you're trying to replicate something you've already done and it doesn't work. So instead, if you do want to work in the studio, see the on plein air things as studies, to implant them in your memory. Come back in and work in and find a fresh way of working in the studio. Hopefully this week will help with that, and trust that those things will bleed back in. But you'll never be able to turn a sketch into a good painting, or I say never. Maybe someone can. I've not known artists to do that very well. Okay, I think that was it for all the questions I had written down. I thought I had missed one other, but I don't think so. Let me come back into the group. How long have I been going on? Oh, it's only an hour. That's not too bad. Somebody's just asked again, is there an assignment today? So the assignment today is to go and look at the images in the group, choose the ones that you like, choose ones that you don't, and write a list of words about why you like what you like, because that's going to tell you what you're drawn to. This course is made up of assignments, live presentations, and exercises. Today is a live presentation day. If you don't have the schedule, it's been emailed out, it's in the group. Go to announcements in the Facebook group and scroll down. Anything I've posted is there as an announcement. You can scroll down, I think it's the first one or second one. You'll find a link to the welcome page for the course, and the course schedule is there, and it tells you what's going to happen on each different day. This is not an online challenge where every day there's a creative prompt. This is a structured course to take you through. Sharon's got to go. That's fine, Sharon. Some people have had to go. Claire asked about where do I sign up for that 10-week course. I tried to go to a place from one of your emails and it said it was full. I think that was referring to the free course the prior time, Claire. When we are done with this course, I will be giving all the details about the full course. You can't sign up for it at the moment, but when we're done with this, there'll be a whole announcement and you won't miss it, and there'll be plenty of time to decide if you want to join me. Francine says, when is it? Right after this. So we start on July 6th. So the announcement will come. Just having a look at the comments. I will have missed all sorts of questions, but I will scroll back and see. Terry's personal trainer. You must do strength training and cardio workouts. Pilates is a wonderful blend of strength and yoga. Helena, if the video's stopping, it's probably just an internet connection. I can't do anything about that, but we can watch the recording. Why is knowing when to stop and say it's finished so hard, says Sandy. I often think that people stop too soon, actually. They think that they've overworked something, but actually they just haven't finished yet. So there is a point where we can stop when it's fresh, and sometimes that's good. Then we mess it up and it gets ugly. Then if we keep going, we get somewhere better. Lots of suggestions of Pilates. Mary Ellen says, will there be a second pass on this piece we just did? Up to you. So if you want to work on it some more, please go ahead. Some people are cutting them up and working on them as small pieces. Some people are leaving it. Yes, I will give all the details about how to sign up for the course and how much it costs and all of that when we're done with this. I don't want to muddle this free part up with anything salesy, because some people are just here for the free thing and to have some fun, and because I want everyone listening and paying attention and doing what you need to do now. Everybody's recommending yoga, so I guess it's yoga or Pilates for all of us. You're welcome, Donna. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry that I couldn't get to everyone's questions in the chat live, but I will go back through them after dinner this evening, and this video will be in the group for you to watch later if you've had to leave or if you missed the beginning, and I will also download it and then email it out to everybody so that everybody else can see it too. So that's it, and there will be tomorrow the exciting colour mixing, how to have fun with colour without ever looking at a colour wheel or worrying about colour theory again. So look out for that tomorrow. What I have to work out now is how to let you go. Oh, it's here. Facebook's got this whole new interface, which is confusing me. Okay, so I'll see you around in the group, and I shall see you tomorrow with a new assignment. Bye-bye.